Everyone who works on trains knows that they have personalities. They are like people. They have their own mysteries. Sam Starbuck, The Dead Isle. If forced to choose the 3 technological innovations of the early 19th century that had the most profound and lingering influence on the process of globalization and the making of world history well into the first half of the 20th century, your list might include the telegraph, the locomotive, and the steamship. And if you were pressed to couple your choices to 3 of the most important transformative economic, social, and political issues that characterized the period 1850 to 1950, you might get away with saying the Industrial Revolution, imperialism, and colonialism. But then again, you might not, and for good reason. Some will want to know about the development of the capitalist state, the expansion of the franchise, and the new democratic order, or the converse about the Russian Revolution and the 2 world wars. That too will not settle the matter, since all it really does is to suggest many more complex cross-cutting connections that are all worthy of the most serious examination. Managing complexity at this level of abstraction is a difficult, if not impossible, task, and the search for such sweeping answers is probably best left to those of a more theoretical bent. A historian attempting to make sense of how so intimidating a set of variables plays itself out over a century is probably better advised to rein in his or her ambition. Perhaps pick just one technical marvel of the great age of material progress, and then turn it into its axis around which many of the other variables can be spun, in order to create the illusion of a few explanations that are not entirely unconvincing or lacking in evidence. Making the steam locomotive, the railway, and the story of one particular train journey the focal point of a short study in order to create such an illusion, and all history writing is, in part, illusion creating in that the historian seeks to conjure up an array of the human senses and place them in times past in a plausible way, may be a useful start. And the African continent might not be the worst place in which to set it. It was, after all, Cecil Rhodes, a man who saw himself at the center of British expansionism, who linked imperialism and the railway in a memorable phrase now totally eclipsed by nationalism, from Cape to Cairo.